We had a real challenge to get the concept of the First Nations University approved by government initially. I came to Ottawa on behalf of the chiefs, with the chiefs, and made the presentation. And I ushered into Indian Affairs, and the head guy was absolutely beside himself. He was just purple with rage. And he said to me, "This is terrible, this is outrageous what you did." And I said, "It wasn't what I did, I was just carrying out the wishes of the 52 chiefs. It's their vision, their idea, I'm just the messenger," in other words, you know. He says, "Do you know what this has done?" I said, "What?" He says, "What you've done is you've set the Indian people back 200 years. All the work that I've done, everything that I've done, you know, to assimilate the Indian people to be good citizens of Canada, you know, is wiped out entirely by that concept." So one day, I was absolute friend of the government of Alberta, and the next day I was on the other side, totally. Indeed, you know, we would like to see the educational centre. If we can't do it in Alberta, we'll do it in Saskatchewan. So she made the presentation. This is what we're going to have in my reserve. This is what we're going to have for the children, and we're going to graduate them as professional people, etc., etc. And they're going to learn about their culture and their history and everything else. And Chrétien didn't know what to do. And his department was, "No, no, you can't do that. You can't do that, Minister. You can't do this." So he goes and he sits in the house for an hour, just wondering what he's going to do. Meanwhile, we're sort of sitting there. There's the bureaucrats, you know, just trying to stare us down, and then there was us this side of the table. So Chrétien came back, and he said, "I'm going to prove. I'm going to prove." Now, of course, the department fought it all the way because they want to control the First Nations. Every deputy minister that came in and all his assistants and everything, you know, are totally at war with First Nations. And we use that facility to all get together and have a 4-day vision session, much like we did with the 52 chiefs for the college. The elders were there at that vision session, you know, having us realize that the power rested with ourselves. I thought, you know, this vision session isn't going anywhere because I'm sitting in front of people that have really been beaten down and really resigned and cynical and whatever. So I said, okay, what's not working? Right away, you know, we had chalkboards. All of their frustrations and all of their woes and all their problems and all the sins of mankind, you know, the 7 deadly sins of mankind. It was all on the wall about total resignation. So then when they saw, and I said, okay, now this is where you're coming from, like, is this your vision for the new university? You know, and there it was in their face, and they looked at it like, how could you get past this? The problem is that you're not really loving yourselves. You're not seeing your contribution. You're just seeing the pain in your failure. Can you turn this around and say, I'm going to take responsibility for that? It's like Gandhi and Martin Luther King, you know. You make a commitment and you keep your word. Is this your vision? And all of a sudden, you know, they got it all out of them. And all of a sudden, brought in new boards. Whew. And wow. So it's like enrolling people in a very powerful declaration, like the Declaration of Independence. You got to declare it. Like, it ain't going to happen unless you declare it. And you don't sleaze out of it. You become totally unreasonable. Because if you become reasonable, people will reason you out of your commitment. So then the doors started opening up. But the government agencies, you know, the bureaucracy didn't want to follow through. So when we invited all the top people in government of both provinces and everything, had this big celebration of a sod turning ceremony. We didn't have any money or anything committed to us then. So then we'd get up and make speeches and then turn the mic over to the minister and we put him on the spot, you know. Yes, this is a very good idea, and of course you'll have our support, you know. With like camera rolling, you know, TV and all the press there. And they all made their commitments. They would provide the shortfall, which they helped to create by renting the top floors of the project. So we had to put Abraham, the president, and all the staff in the basement and put Indian Affairs offices on the top floor. And they, of course, are instrumental in creating an awful lot of the problems to try to destroy the project ever since. They're still on the top floor. And the staff and the president are still in the basement. So I've met in this process some amazing people, very powerful and amazing people, but also some really bad, devious little scallywags that